Welcome back, everyone. We are here again on YouTube and LinkedIn with another exciting episode of the Top Innovator series. This is where we dive into leadership strategies and we hear from the brilliant minds behind them. My name is Joseph Martins, and I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today. With us today is Meeky Hwang. Meeky is the CEO and CTO of Endeavor, where they create and maintain secure and high performance websites that drive growth and customer satisfaction. And today, we're thrilled to have Meeky with us. Meeky, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here in the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
So, Meeky, like we said before, you're super successful on your journey, on your tech leadership journey. And we'd love to hear from your experience on that journey as you evolved as a leader. When you reflect on your own journey, what are some of the ingredients that got you to where you are today? So, how would you say does your success recipe come together?
I think being flexible and being always curious about different things. So like
Okay.
I always was really big on learning new things. That was my main motivation for any job and throughout my career. So obviously when the opportunity comes, I'll try to figure out and be curious about how to make it better, how to actually finagle or how to go through all the obstacles that comes your way. And that naturally came um, as my own curiosity and my motivation to keep the jobs. And with that came with different roles and stepping up. And then like you're given with the different opportunities, and I took it and just try to work through it and become like a tech lead and like project lead and
Mhm.
whatnot, and just came to this. And then along the way, there's a lot of different things I learned. And sometimes I felt like I might feel too young or too inexperienced to do things, but I'll figure out a way and I'll try to be open to any feedback from my subordinate, my mentors, or my bosses, or even for the people I was overseeing. And I felt like that made me who I am and how I lead
Hmm.
teams, or being in the leadership position in that sense.
So you started off by saying curiosity is one of the drivers or one of the reasons. And I would love to know more about how that evolved over time. I imagine curiosity has always been there. It's maybe innate to you. How has that shifted over the years? At some point, I imagine it must have moved from a focus on technology over to a whole business curiosity or looking at the whole business. Talk
Yeah.
about that and talk about how that evolved.
Yeah, naturally, I think anyone with technology background, I think I'm believing that a lot of people who are in technology space, they were probably have this in their mind, analytical thinking
Hmm.
plus curiosity. Because like when I started playing with websites or coding or anything back in like high school, college, that's what how I got into it, because I was curious about, well, it's a little longer days, but like internet was just out and I was exploring to build a website that wasn't very common. So like those kind of led to my tech
Hmm.
journey, stepping into the tech journey and just curious about learning how to make it better, learning more about it to properly do it. And it's like and learning more things like the actual computer science classes and all those
Yeah.
things back in college, and starting a new role as a junior dev. I'm finally learning that whatever I'm building is in practice in real applications. And also I got curious about diving deeper into it, and I switched jobs to get into like startups to learn more.
Hmm.
So though that's what I meant by curiosity
Yeah.
driven, to and be open to different opportunities that came to my way. Some are intentional, some are just accidental, but I just wanted to embrace
Yeah.
all the opportunities to learn. And like you said too, it was usually in the beginning, it was more about learning the actual technology, how to build better things. And when you're stepping into the more leadership roles, like the lead, tech lead, or project management, you also have to learn how to manage people, how to manage project, how to manage process, how to
Right.
manage clients, stakeholders, and all those things. And that also came with curiosity. How do I make it better? How do I understand other people
Hmm.
better? How do I understand different type of roles better? So the curiosity shifted based on my role, just from
Hmm.
like pure technology. knowledge to learning about people, learning about different roles, learning about what other people, how to work together, how to collaborate together better, to stepping into also starting a business. It was somewhat accidental, but starting a business to run the business, there's a lot more that I didn't know. And also getting into reading a lot more books about how to build it better, how to scale better.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
all came to different stages, but it also fit well. And then, like you said, that it changes a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of in the same role to improve yourself eventually. And
Right.
also it gives you opportunity to, uh, I think, be a better leader or better person or better, I don't know, like human being. I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah. Why not? Right. Sure. That's, I think, what many are aspiring to. Yeah.
yeah.
Let me take a look at your leadership journey from a different perspective. I imagine you had mentors, you had role models, you had trusted advisors on your journey with you, and you picked things up from them. When you think of these people, what is something that was really important to you? Something that you picked up from someone else and you still hold it in high regard?
I think I was pretty lucky with my bosses and they naturally became my mentors and I still talk to,
Hmm.
I think about 99% of the people that were my bosses or I call them mentors. The people I actually still keep very close relationships with are the people who actually trusted me and then also
Mm.
gave me opportunities to explore different things that I felt like I wasn't ready. So they actually
Okay.
trusted me more than I thought I did. So like
Okay.
I was especially in the beginning, I was very more introvert and I wasn't sure. I was very shy, but I did have bosses who were letting me know that like you have an ability to learn very quickly and you're open to learning different things. And like give me like a very good advice, like be a sponge, just absorb everything and learn from it and or they'll given me a task that was little above I felt like above my ability to handle it, but I was like, I know you can do it. I've seen you do it. So like giving those kind of vibe and like trusting me, I felt like, oh, if you trust me, why wouldn't I trust myself? So those kind of things actually were a good qualities I felt like the my mentors or my bosses have to lead me to bring the actual better outcome from
Yeah.
myself that I didn't even know. And I try to adapt that. I try to exercise that more. I don't know if I was very successful at it, but hopefully I was. But it's a very good quality I actually
Yeah.
cherish for the mentors and leaders.
Yeah. So I like this idea of giving a job that is a little bit above what has been done before or a little bit more challenging than you think you're capable of doing. If you were to give yourself that job now, what would that be? So if you assigned yourself a job that you think is a little bit beyond comfortable, what would that be?
I think I actually started that not
Okay.
too long ago. Is
Okay.
actually being out there. I was a very shy person. I'm one of those people that I didn't want my face to be in internet at all. So I wouldn't even take any pictures. But
Okay.
these days it's very hard to not do that. And I try to be a little more active about showing up on different podcasts, or we even started a podcast. And that was actually one of my uh, a uncomfortable zone that I have to step into to and also actively interviewing other leadership as well. Those weren't the things that I was very good at. I didn't
Yep.
think I was good at, and I'm putting into that space, and I still feel a little nervous about it.
Right.
Or sometimes I still have to kind of like, okay, I can do this, and but I'm actually trying that. So like that's like being out there a little more, being present out in public more
Yeah.
is I feel like is the one that I'm still trying to get better at and then try to get out out there at.
Very good. Now we talked about the past. Let's talk about the present, where you are at the moment. And this is not a question about roles, companies. It's still about your leadership journey. When you look at where you are today, what do you think is a next step for you? What's the next level of your own professional, of your own personal growth journey?
I think scale properly because we do
Good.
have a goal for our company size. We want to scale properly to go to the next
Hmm.
level that we want. In order to do that, it requires a different leadership because like you're gonna add more resources, you're gonna have a bigger project, you're gonna probably have to deal with a different industry projects
Hmm.
or clients or even like the stakeholders that you have to work with. So learning that to be a little more flexible, of industry agnostic, and it's just like and also handle more people and without um without the shortcomings
Yeah.
is I feel like it's my next challenge
Yeah.
for where I am.
And what does that mean for you? I mean, what change would you have to do to make this happen? I'm thinking of a saying that that sort of stuck with me. The key thing about achieving a goal is to becoming the person you need to be to achieve that goal,
Mhm.
right? So, who does Meeky need to be to achieve that goal?
I don't know. I don't know if I can describe who, but
Mm.
how I'm trying to achieve it is like pick some people who are in that position already, and I'll put them as mentor to myself, and even though they might not know me, and I'll try to
Okay.
follow their journeys to see if there's anything that I can adapt. And also, I mean, even the books might not be very prominent these days, but I still read a lot on scaling properly and trying to watch different
Got it.
YouTube series from the people that I want to be
Yeah.
people who are at the level that I want to be at.
Yep. Got it. Do you have something like a leadership tool or a leadership strategy that is your go-to approach? If things are maybe not quite working the way they should, what's a tool that you keep pulling from that you feel this will always work?
I feel like books actually
Okay.
and education. Yeah, it's some of the it's not necessarily technology business
Hmm.
specific ones, but like other books around
Right.
to get to a better leadership, better mentality, or understand your brain better, understand your life cycle better, actually helps to get to um, a better leadership position, I feel like. Because some of them are not
Yep.
specifically direct, people might not think it's directly related to it, especially like the psychology type of books. Interestingly, they help a lot because you're understanding different point of view. So learning about that, or sometimes like just learning about finance or money and those kind of books, I try to read a lot to have it as like a background knowledge, but sometimes it's not just a background knowledge. It actually helps on business positions or in different situations.
Very good. Now let's take a look at the future and speculate a little bit. No one knows what the future looks like, right? We can only look at a crystal ball, and maybe the crystal ball is foggy. Who knows? But if we were to have this conversation again in a few years' time, Miki, and we talk about again what has changed in leadership recently, what do you think we're going to talk about in a few years?
Yeah, it's like interesting things, like few years. How far back are we going?
Okay, this
But
is not,
I
not
want
now.
to be,
I feel tempted now and go in steps. I don't know, for 5, 20, 200, something like that. Let's start with
yeah.
5. Mm.
I want to be in a position, when you ask me like, so how was your journey like to be at where I am? So like I'm hoping that we are scaled to their 5-year goal to be at a position where they are. I don't know if you want to specifically mention that, but like at that point, like how was your journey like and what did you learn?
Mhm.
I think that would be the most important thing. So, and if I need to repeat it to go to the next level that I'm thinking
Mm.
of, what would that be? That's probably the position I want to be at. So like also I'm trying to, I was actually looking at Alex Hormozy saying that document your journey so that you, when you're at that level that you want it, that you can actually go back and say that you achieved it. So I'm trying to do that. It's like sometimes it's hard to keep track of it, but like I'm trying to do that so that I can document the journey for that next 3 to 5
Yep.
years to see how what challenges that I actually ran into. I might
Mhm.
not remember it unless it's
Right.
like a really dramatic one, and I'm trying to constantly learn from it, so that I can actually apply that for the next journey I'll
Yep.
have.
Yep. Got it. Nikki, let me ask you a last question, and then we're going to land the plane. If you could change something about how most leaders lead their teams, their organizations, let's say you had this magic wand and you could make one thing different, what would you do?
Mm. I would say reward more on their achievement and actually explicitly reward and then just say it and compliment it so that they know that they actually did a good job. Um, and I feel like that will actually promote a lot of people to be at the better place.
Okay, got it. Do you think achievement is given, sorry, rewards are given for the wrong thing at the moment? You put the focus on achievement. Do you think it's more given for?
Well, sometimes they overlook and they think that they assume that people will know when they did a good job. But
Yeah,
like sometimes you just
yeah,
have to explicitly say it
yeah.
to them for them to know. And also it also is a good gesture and then they
That
they
makes sense.
learn more
Yeah,
from it
I got it.
by getting a compliment,
Yeah,
I feel like.
cool. Meeky, thank you so much. Been an absolute pleasure having you in the conversation here.
Yeah, it was interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone else who joined us. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Join us again for our next episode. And most importantly, as always, keep your brain cells active.